All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get started. We are going to do an information session for housing options for the honors program students. And I'm Carrie White, and I have Dr. DeYounger and Lauren Evans from the honors program, as well as some of my colleagues from Housing and Residence Life who are going to help answer questions. We're going to go through a presentation and then answer some questions that we already have received from folks, and then we'll answer the questions that you all might have. Feel free to go ahead and drop those questions in the Q&A section as we go. And if we can answer them right there, we will, and then otherwise we'll do them live. So this is just a note that the presentation is being recorded, and we will share this information we will share the recording on our website at Housing and Residence Life. And we also want to note that everything we're talking about today is accurate as of today, but please read any emails you receive from Housing and Residence Life regarding the application process, because we may have updates and we want to inform you about those. But this is what we know as of today. We're going to give you a little bit of background on Housing and Residence Life, talk about some of the application steps for both on-campus and off-campus housing, and then provide you with information about our upcoming sessions, and then answer your questions. You may or may not be aware that we have increased our undergraduate enrollment significantly over the last 5 years, and really and truly expanding access for students from all backgrounds. We're also increasing our number of transfer students, as well as supporting low-income students throughout all of our undergraduate population. So we just want to make sure that folks understand that this enrollment growth impacts everything, right, from classes to housing. And so just as a little bit of background information. So I also want to share with you a little bit about our waitlist trends. So last year, so for this past fall, and then also fall of 2022, you can see there the number of students who were on the wait list, and then the number of students who ultimately came off the wait list to live on campus both years. And we saw a significant increase, right? Both of our wait list as well as the number of students who we were able to house. And one of the things we want to make sure folks know about is how we prioritize in our primary considerations for on-campus housing. So we really do focus on our new and youngest students, and then our students who have need. So we're looking at first year, new transfer, new grad, our rising second year students, our need-based students, and then our current residents. And then from there we go for all the other students who may want to live on campus. So we'll talk a little bit today about the actual application process. We won't get into the roommate selection and room selection processes. We're really going to focus on applying for housing, and we want to separate these things, right? You're applying for a space for the academic year versus all of the other processes that go along with that once you have that application completed and you're not on the wait list, right? So we're going to talk mostly about the application process for students in the honors program specifically. So really and truly, it's, we've given you the dates. That information's on our website. You'll see it here today as well. You want to review both the off-campus and our on-campus websites. You want to consider what your living learning community options are. And for rising second year honors program students, it's a little bit different than the upper class students. You want to attend some info sessions like you're doing today, and then in January in February you'll be able to apply. So for dates, and these are posted on the website, they have been, and this applies to honors program students as well. If you are a rising second year, meaning you currently right now are a brand new first year student at Georgia Tech, this is your first year on campus as a first year college student, then you are considered a rising second year, and you will be able to apply beginning on January 30th. And only rising second year students will apply from January 30th to February 12th. And then beginning on February 13th, all of our other current residents may begin applying. And then on February 20th, all of our other students, returning Georgia Tech students, may begin applying. The wait list will be turned on when we reach capacity. So once we have the number of applicants that we have bed spaces for, we turn on the wait list. That doesn't mean that you can't apply. You will continue to apply just like you would if you if we weren't on the wait list yet, but you will see that you are applying for the wait list, right? And you'll be able to see that you're actually applying and that you're on the wait list at that point. All right, so let's talk specifically about honors program and the living learning community options with a completed application. So we're talking about students here who have completed their housing application and they are not on the wait list. So a rising second year honors program student is required to live with the honors program. So if you are an honors program student right now who is a rising second year, you apply for housing, you're not on the wait list, then you are required to live with honors in your second year. You're not eligible to live anywhere else, and you're not eligible to apply for Worcester iHouse as a second year. For rising third year and up honors program students, you will have choices on your housing application. When you apply, you'll have the option to live with the honors program. You'll be able to select that as an option. You can choose to live elsewhere on campus. And if you choose to live elsewhere on campus, then you're eligible to apply for a Worcester iHouse at that point. You are required to choose one of these options when you apply, and you can't make changes afterwards. So if you choose to live elsewhere and then 3 months later you're like, oh, you know what, I really want to live with the honors program, you can't make the change at that point. So you really do need to think about where you want to live as a third year and up honors program student. And then remember that these agreements that students signed when they joined their living learning community in the honors program. It was something that you agreed to from the very beginning. And this is just that agreement again that shows exactly what students agreed to when they signed up this year for the honors program. So by selecting to live in the upper class honors program, living learning community, you agreed to, first year students are going to live in the building, and that you, if you choose to live on campus in your second year, then you'll be required to live with honors program. All right, so after you apply, you've successfully completed your application and you are not on the wait list, then you'll have some other processes to complete in February and March. February will be room selection. There's no time ticket for this. For rising second years, you will only see other rising second years, and third years and up, you'll see other living learning community, honors program living learning community students who are living in the building as options for roommates. And then just remember that if you have a friend who you want to live with and they're on the wait list, they won't be an option for you. So in March, this is when students will choose their rooms. You'll be able to do room selection, and students will have the option to stay same. Most students, if your room is eligible, you'll be able to choose to stay in your same assignment, and you'll have 1 day to do that. You'll receive an email telling you that you're eligible, and with all of the very detailed instructions about how you do that. And most rising second year honors program students should be able to stay same as well. There may be exceptions to that, but for the most part, we think that that's going to happen. And then remember that for upper class self-assign, it's related to your Georgia Tech credit hours. So the more credit hours you have, the more choices you have. And that the roommate with the earliest time ticket will be able to pull the other roommates in. So that all happens in March. So if you are on the wait list, then please remember that we really don't make any changes or move anybody from the wait list until late spring and really and truly summer. We do a little bit in late spring after all of the self-assign and cancellations come through of that initial set of cancellations. We will do some waitlist movement, but for the most part, the majority of our waitlist happens in the summer. And then you'll be able to really and truly, I would say, start looking at what those off-campus housing options are, and there will be some resources available to you throughout the whole spring. If you're on the wait list, I encourage you to take advantage of those. we'll have an information session, a housing fair, and in March, also the priority waitlist consideration form will open. So if you are on the wait list, you can fill out this form and let us know what your situation is in order to be considered for priority. All right, so for students who are on the wait list in the honors program, you'll have some options when you are applying. And like I said, because you'll know you're applying to the wait list when you're completing your application, you'll see these options. I do want to note that rising second year students really shouldn't be on the wait list. If they apply during their phase from January 30th to February 12th, you really shouldn't be on the wait list, right? But if you wait for whatever reason, you don't apply and you end up on the wait list later, then remember that these will also apply to you. But if you are a third year and up and you're on the wait list, you're an honors program student, you'll be able to choose one of these options. You want to only live with your LLC block. You only want to live with the honors program if you're taken off the wait list, or you'll take the first available space. So you'll make this choice when you're applying. And once you make this choice, you won't be able to make any changes. So obviously the first space available gives you the most options, right? But if you have decided that you only want to live on campus, if you can live with the honors program, then you would choose the first option. If you choose, I want to live, or I will want the first space available, if you're taken off the wait list, then you'll be able to see your place on both wait lists, both the honors program wait list as well as the general housing wait list. You'll be able to go back to the housing portal at any point and see the changes there. If you choose you only want to live with the honors program, if you're taken off the wait list, then you'll just see your wait list number for the honors program. All right. So if you've decided that you really want to look for off-campus housing, we have some options for you. We have a off-campus housing website, and I'm sure we're going to drop that in the Q&A section. You'll be able to really look closely at that. It is Georgia Tech specific, meaning that you can sign in and see roommates as well as subleases from only other Georgia Tech folks. And you'll be able to look for student housing nearby. There's many filters, and we're going to show you some of those things in a little bit. Please attend one of the housing fairs and actually talk to the property managers who attend those. Come to some of the programs. We're going to do some programs for off-campus housing, and we really think educational programs that we think will be really helpful in you making your decision. Then you can sign that lease and get ready to move out. So like I said, really and truly take advantage of this opportunity to look through the off-campus housing marketplace. There's lots of filters there. You can filter by term, by size. You can look at different amenities. You can choose all kinds of things here that you want to look for in a space, type of housing, that sort of thing. You can do roommates and sublets. There's also renter's education here on the website, and we encourage you to take a look at that. And it's things about, like how to sign a lease and what lease terms mean and what do I do about pets and things like that. So you, at the very least, it will give you information about what kinds of questions you might ask a property. We will have off-campus housing fairs. We'll have a graduate and family off-campus housing fair January 23rd, and then everyone is invited to the March 12th off-campus housing fair that will be at Tech Walkway. And then we'll also be offering some additional programs that we hope you'll take advantage of. So we'll have some Renting 101 workshops, and then advice from property managers, some other panels that we're trying to put together for folks to really learn what it's like to live off campus. All right, so we've collected a few questions. I'm going to go through some of these and then be able to answer questions that you have in addition to these. So the first question I'm going to respond to is about stay same. So some students will ask, I live in a certain location, and for our honors program students, that would be 8th Street South or 8th Street East, and you want to live there next year. Is that possible? For the majority of students who are rising second year students, I would say yes. There may be some of our upper class students who may need to make some changes over to potentially, but hopefully close by, right? And so we'll see. But for the most part, students are able to stay same. But I just want to remind everyone that specific housing is never guaranteed. In any housing is never guaranteed. But once you have an application and you're not on the wait list, then really what you have is a space on campus. And while we really try hard to give students the option to stay, there's just reasons why that might not be possible. And so it's always been that students can be reassigned at any time. And so it's really explicit in the housing contract that your contract is for a space and not a specific space. So please remember that. And then this question about first year students living in apartments, obviously as honors program students, you know that does happen. And then we have some questions always about, well, what about if I absolutely have to live on campus next year? I really need to. So our recommendation is apply as soon as your phase opens. And if you are on the wait list, complete the priority waitlist consideration form and let us know your specific situation. If you only need housing for fall or spring due to graduation or study abroad or co-op intern, that sort of thing, can you apply for just one semester? So if you only need fall housing, we do not offer a fall only contract. You would simply apply for the academic year and then cancel your spring semester of your contract in mid-fall. And if you are a student who is studying abroad or graduating or interning, and your internship or co-op is more than 25 miles from campus, you can do that you can cancel that spring semester without penalty, as long as you provide the proper documentation. And there's an entire process for how you do that. When you get ready to cancel, it'll provide the detailed steps and you'll be able to submit that and be approved. If you only need spring housing, we do offer a spring only housing contract. And so you'll apply for spring only in about mid-October is when we usually turn that application on. And so you apply for that and then you'll be able to move in January. All right, so long-term housing plans. We have submitted a 5-year housing plan, and I'm not sure if any of you have seen some of the recent news coming out about the strategic plan for Georgia Tech and the campus plan. It's very exciting. There's lots of information in there. I will say that we have the one building that we've been approved for is a brand new traditional hall that will be in West Campus. It's 862 beds, and it is expected to be completed for fall of 2026. It is an enabling project that will give us the opportunity to renovate some of our older first year buildings over time and give us some additional space. And then, of course, we are looking at other options that will help us grow our housing inventory. All right. So we have upcoming information sessions. We'll have a general housing application information session similar to this, but for not specific to honors program. But if you need more information in January, right before the housing applications opens, you can join that. And then if you do end up on the wait list, we will have a waitlist information session on March 5th for students to really provide some guidance and where we are with the wait list. If you want to keep up with what resources we'll be offering, you can scan this code, the QR code on the screen, and keep that link bookmarked so that you can keep up with what's going on. All right. Questions that you have. So I haven't been following the Q&A, but I'm guessing there have been some.
We actually do not have any questions yet. So if folks do have things that haven't been answered by all the slides Carrie just went through, please drop it into the Q&A. You'll see that option probably along the lower side or the lower, the bottom of your screen if you're an attendee.
All right, while we're waiting, Amy, Lauren, do y'all have any comments or questions that you've had come up that you think we should answer, or anything you think we should clarify?
Well, first, I just wanted to say thank you from the honors program to housing. We always value your partnership, and you know, we've loved moving into 8th Street Apartments, and we really appreciate that you took the time today to share this with our students. So that's great. I think most of the confusion has come around the second year living requirement, and just to restate that, then the current first year students, and by first year I mean traditional quote unquote freshmen, not first year transfer students,
Right.
traditional first year students who are in their first year of college. When you joined the honors program, the agreement that you signed was that if you wanted to live on campus in your second year as a rising second year, you would live with the honors program, and that if you did not want to live with the honors program, then your options would be to move off campus. That's been the only point of confusion. That is new since we moved to 8th Street Apartments, and so I think that's why folks aren't as familiar with that. But that is part of the acceptance agreement. Again, and that's just rising second year students.
Yep.
We do have some questions in the chat.
I was going to say we did have one coming through, but Amy, if you want to take it away, please do.
So the first one is, will there be any new renovations to 8th Street Apartments before next year? And if so, which floors and apartments?
We don't have any renovations planned. There's some infrastructure work happening in the 8th Street area. So all 3 8th Street buildings will be offline for the summer for that infrastructure work, but we don't have any renovation work planned for those buildings.
And then the next question, Kate was dropping in the Q&A, which is a link to this recording. So she was just sharing where it was going to be posted.
Okay. Yeah, I did drop. I know we'll post the link to the recording on the current student application page on our website, but we'll also make sure that Dr. DeYoung gets a hold of it so that we can probably post it in your Canvas or what have you.
I will absolutely post it in Canvas in the modules. For those of you who haven't looked in Canvas recently, there's tons of information, and so it will be there once it becomes available.
I'm happy to give us a few more questions if there are a few more minutes for more questions if there are any others that have come up. But this also gives me a lot of hope that we have pre-answered a lot for you.
There is a question about pricing for next year.
Right. So we submit our rates to the Board of Regents, and once they are approved, we will post them on our website. So we do not have rates for next year. I do know we requested a slight increase for across the board because we haven't had an increase in rates for quite some time. But since nothing's been approved, I can't tell you what those will be.
I'll also note that on our website, the honors program website, there is actually a housing section. It's in the it's under the tab that says applying at the top. And in the housing section, we do link to the rates page. So you can see where the rates, what the rates are for each year. So once that's updated on the housing website, you'll be able to link to it always through the honors program website as well. Not seeing any additional questions. I will let you know that if you ever do have questions about anything honors program related, you're welcome to reach out to me directly. I'm happy to assist. All of these processes are under the purview of Housing and Residence Life. So just a little disclaimer there. We are not involved in the housing selection process, the wait list, any of that assignment process is handled by housing, but we certainly have a fantastic working relationship with them. And we can always, if I don't know the answers to your questions, we can reach out to them and figure it out and make sure you have all the information that you need. So please don't hesitate to ever reach out to me if you need some follow-up information.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have the Housing Help Desk is always excited to help students, and they will definitely get answers for you if they don't know them. But definitely reaching out to Dr. DeYounger first helps because it gives context to honors program students, and their situation is just slightly different. And so it's just enough to really, there's some nuances there. We want to make sure we get the right answer when students are asking questions. So definitely, but feel free to reach out to the Housing Help Desk as well, or any of the housing team who will help get you the answers you need.
And obviously Google will take you to the Housing Help Desk, but it is also linked through the honors program website through the housing section.
All right. Well, I'm not seeing any additional questions either, so I think that we are good to go. Again, this will be posted on the housing website and also on the Canvas page for honors program. So thank you all for joining us, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.